thoughts. Naturally and safely walking down stairs and ramps, step over step, also enhances the mobility of the prosthesis wearer. The C-Leg adapts to changes in walking speed immediately and automatically. Even special activities such as horseback riding, cycling, cross-country skiing and skating are possible by switching the control unit to a corresponding mode. The electronic control unit assures stability even on rough surfaces. Even more importantly, C-Leg technology significantly reduces the frequency of falls. Stability and security boost confidence in the prosthesis and allow users to focus on the important things in life. These advantages of the C-Leg prosthesis system have been proven in numerous scientific studies. In the meantime, the C-Leg has become the most frequently evaluated and most comprehensively documented leg prosthesis system in technical literature worldwide. Mobility means quality of life. Did you know that a person taking an average of 9,000 steps per day could walk around the world 3 times in one lifetime? Join us. C-Leg technology can help you lead a more independent life.
The purpose of gait training is to get the patient used to the advanced functionality offered by C-Leg technology. Many prosthesis wearers take a little time to gain confidence. This is another reason why it is important to emphasize the safety factor here. With the C-Leg, it is possible to distribute weight evenly over both legs while sitting down, which is a good way to prevent problems with the sound knee joint. Various support options are available for sitting down. First, the therapist supports the patient by holding his or her hands. The chair is positioned so that it is braced against a wall and both feet should be at the same level. Now the patient is asked to bend forward while pushing the buttocks back and allowing the C-Leg to support them while it flexes. Once the patient has gained confidence in the prosthesis, he or she can try to sit down independently by using the armrests for support. The therapist stands next to the patient on the prosthesis side, ready to pull the patient in that direction and increase the proportion of body weight supported by the prosthesis. In many cases, the patient's perception regarding the sitting speed is highly subjective and difficult to assess from the outside. In order for the therapist to get a feel for how quickly the patient is sitting down, that means whether the damping level is properly adjusted, the therapist and patient can sit down at the same time. Here, the chair used by the therapist should be positioned at the patient's prosthesis side in order to offer support for the patient and so that the therapist can pull the patient towards the prosthesis side if required. Once the patient is confident in the ability to stand up, beginning to walk immediately after standing up should be added. Parameters for the initiation of the swing phase are the extension of the prosthetic knee joint with simultaneous application of the maximum toe load within a short period of time. It's important that this be practiced initially with the user standing between parallel bars. Please note, however, that walking with forearm crutches or excessive support on the parallel bars can lead to problems. If too much weight is borne by the supports, the required maximum load on the prosthesis cannot be reached. In many cases, the amputee will initially experience difficulties initiating the swing phase. The following exercise is recommended in order to learn this process. The therapist positions a fitness ball in front of the patient. The amputee is then asked to kick the fitness ball with the prosthesis. This task offers motivation for the patient. The amputee moves more actively, making it easier to initiate the swing phase. Reducing the use of supporting devices is a major step towards achieving maximum independence for the prosthesis wearer. Learning the correct walking technique plays a key role in this process. Depending on the mobility grade, the patient should first learn the 4-point gait with assistive devices such as crutches, and then the 2-point gait with no support devices. Visual coordination aids can be very helpful for this. The use of support devices is gradually reduced. During this process, the user learns to pull more weight on the prosthesis while the torso assumes the stabilizing function which was previously performed by the arms. As a result, the patient's body posture improves and a more harmonious gait pattern is achieved. In addition to learning the proper walking technique, the patient should complete the strengthening exercises described in the following section at regular intervals. Once the swing phase can be initiated reliably, this is practiced during unsupported walking. In order to raise the level of difficulty, the patient should walk in a circle or a figure of 8 while initiating the swing phase on the outside and on the inside of a turn respectively. In order to develop a physiological stride length and stride width, and therefore a more harmonious gait pattern, positioning footprints on the floor with spacing adapted to the amputee is recommended. The amputee tries to step on the footprints. In doing so, hitting the target by drawing up the contralateral heel must be avoided. The patient should not focus on the footprints for too long during this exercise and should keep the upper body upright and the gaze straight ahead while walking. This exercise can be completed between parallel bars and later also during unsupported walking. In order to make this exercise more challenging, the height of the footprints and the materials that are used can be varied. This allows the amputee to practice walking on various surfaces indoors in preparation for walking on uneven terrain outdoors. Physiological flexing of the knee joint under load is possible with the C-leg. However, many patients avoid this natural and important movement. The therapist should guide the C-leg during the first few steps in order to help the patient learn this function. In order to do so, the therapist places one hand at the top and in front of the knee and the other hand on the back of the pelvis. At a knee flexion angle of approximately 10 degrees, the hand on the knee joint is pushed backwards and the hand on the pelvis is pushed forwards. This facilitates flexion under load. Once the movement pattern has been internalized, repeating this exercise without the aid of support devices is recommended. Using a metronome may be helpful in order to achieve a symmetrical distribution of the stance phase duration. The therapist can set the rhythm in order to specify various walking speeds for the patient. Changes in the walking speed are required during everyday life, for example when crossing a street, catching the bus, or while window shopping. Such speed changes are possible with the C-leg. Proper balance is an important prerequisite for the amputee in order to walk safely. First, the amputee should learn how to stand on the prosthesis without having to concentrate too much. Exercises that distract attention from the lower extremities are suitable for this purpose. For example, one can toss a balloon to the patient, which is then bounced back using the hands. The same exercise can also be performed using a ball. Here the response time is shorter and so the degree of difficulty is higher. These are good initial exercises to train the patient to shift weight and to put an even load on both legs. Additional exercises are conducted for supporting leg training and general prosthesis control. The rocker board offers many options for supporting leg training. After the amputee learns how to stand on it securely, various challenges can be added. The rocker board should first be positioned between parallel bars and then away from any supports. Walking on the rocker board is an excellent exercise in order to learn how to maintain balance on the prosthesis and correctly assess the available ground clearance. The therapist should use his or her foot to control and manage the movement of the rocker board during this exercise. Once the exercises on the rocker board can be completed without problems, a wobble board offers possibilities for additional levels of difficulty. It moves freely in all planes. Once again, various challenges can be posed for the amputee. For safety reasons, the wobble board should only be used on a slip-resistant surface. In order to improve the patient's balancing skills, one may have the amputee balance on a strip of tape, first sideways, then forward. A gymnastics bench, which can be turned over if required, may be used to further increase the level of difficulty. As a rule of thumb, the smaller the supporting surface, the more challenging the exercises are for the amputee. For the next exercise, the patient stands in the center of a cross and then moves forward, backwards, sideways and diagonally in the 4 sections. The patient alternately starts with the contralateral leg and with the prosthesis. A small step is particularly effective for supporting leg training. The amputee stands in front of the step and taps the top of it with the contralateral foot without putting weight on the contralateral side. Then the patient taps the floor with the same foot. The amputee should first hold on to a rail, then stand in front of the step unsupported and, once this no longer poses a problem, dynamically move the arms during the exercise. Another extremely effective way to increase the level of difficulty is to make a drumming movement with the arms during this exercise. This exercise can also be done from the side while standing beside the